Look, just short opener, just congratulations to Pablo and RSL for moving on. Um, Congratulations to them. And, I'm just proud of the Seattle Sounders franchise. Many different things. I'm sure questions will come up. I've got notes. But just overall, I'm extremely proud to be part of this club. And it didn't work for us tonight. But I have confidence that the group, the team, coaching staff, the entire organization will be motivated to come back from this. As Tommy always says, tough times don't last, tough people do. And we'll be reflecting a little bit on what we could have done better, but we'll be ready for 2022.
As usual, we'll start with questions in the room before going upstairs to Zoom. Show of hands. Maz, go ahead.
Brian, disappointed. How long do you stay with this? The loss?
That'll take some time, Maz. I mean, always as a person, as an individual, we try and give guidance to the players. You have to reflect on the things that you do well, and you have to reflect on the things that perhaps some of the goals you didn't achieve in a particular season. So similar to 2018 when we lost to Portland in penalty kicks, I heard the question about Steph about 2016. Yeah, 2016 worked for us, so that's, a good memory. But 2018 wasn't a good memory. This isn't a good memory. So we'll keep it inside here. It'll fuel the fires a little bit. That's what I tried to, message the group afterwards. That, yeah, I mean, all the success of the year and, some of the statistical achievements we made and 5 teenagers, all of that. This is still United States of America. It's playoffs. And so you got to use this as motivation for next year.
Jeremiah.
Do you see anything that happened today as like a continuation of the way the season ended, or was today totally different from that?
I'd have to watch the tape, Jeremiah, which I probably will at some point. I didn't think we were just look, all of this statistics and they not having a shot on goal and us and 15. Hey, throw that all out the window. I'm a guy that truly believes that we can talk about all of the statistical analysis that is going on in the sport, and it certainly is relevant and it's interesting. But the flow of the game, the feel of the game, to answer your question directly, Jeremiah, yeah, I didn't think we had it in the final third. My decisions to bring Raul on at halftime, did that work? Was his hamstring injury there? We had some tired legs out there. I mean, JP's an absolute warrior. I mean, he hadn't played a game in a month, and he gutted out 120 minutes, but was he effective? How did we set things up with Jordan? All of the tactics, all of those things that are part of our sport, just getting the team to mesh together. I think we failed tonight. So I would say that the challenges of the last 6 games were, injury related, form related. And you could say there was a little bit that of tonight. But I would just say our execution in the final third just wasn't there. That we had some good half chances, all of the set pieces. I talked ad nauseum about our defending set pieces. Maybe we should have spent more time on our attacking set pieces.
John.
Christian mentioned this at the end of his press conference, that he said that this was still a successful season. And I'm curious if you agree with that, and whether you agree or not, how you approach next season, being that there is season starting in February and Champions League for your team next year as well.
Well, I kind of agree with Christian. I'm trying to get myself to agree. The standard that we set at this club is a high bar. And so this is, again, it's a failure. I need to make sure that I give the players tools to be successful. But did we give the players tools to be successful earlier in the year? 13 games unbeaten, 3 goal of the year candidates, defender of the year, MVP awards. I mean, we did have a lot of bright spots in this year. But again, to my earlier comment, this is America, and we play for the playoffs. That's what really drives the United States and drives, sports in general in our country. And so, in that sense, yeah, it's a failure. But when these guys pour over the stats, and we talk about playoff records, and 4 out of 5 years in the final, 13 years in the playoffs. I mean, there's still plenty of positives, but right now there's not much.
Nico.
I was wondering, when you said that Jordan Morris, wanted to know the thoughts behind that. Was it just limited, just how you saw him in the game?
He was a warrior as well. I mean, he was not supposed to play 100 and some odd minutes. I mean, they would have preferred me to take him off in regular time. But I chose to leave him on. There was, the game against Dallas a few years ago when Jordan was gassed and he scored a goal. Didn't happen for us this year. But I just felt that Jordan was done and at risk of injury. And so I brought Nico on, and I thought that was it's pretty nice having Nico Ladero come on as a sub for Jordan Morris. So, it was nothing more than just trying to keep Jordan healthy for hopefully what would have been our next match.
Mickey.
You obviously had a couple of weeks off, but do you feel that you just kind of ran out of time, at least trying to get all these players back and cohesive, and kind of did that manifest itself in the game?
Well, the way we started with Benazet, Montero, maybe Jordan's the one we're talking about, because I did talk a lot about incorporating Jordan back into our, 3 center back formation, whether it's 3-4-1-2 or, our house shape. I think, Mickey, there were some questions there that, yeah, sure, over the course of a full season, it might have been a little bit better or more cohesive. But I thought Jordan understood his roles very well. I thought he was effective today. And again, it was just that final product that was missing, in the game, But I wouldn't use that as an excuse, because I think most of the players were there. Nico, again, at the end of the game for 15 minutes. I mean, he hadn't played a lot in that formation, but the rest of the guys have.
Art.
Right. You've seen defensive strategies like this before. Was this as extreme and as difficult in this case?
I don't know, Art. I mean, they certainly defended deep. They defended at times well. I think they wanted to hit us on the counterattack. I think that was always, it's in soccer, they defend and hit you on the counterattacks. I think that's what they wanted to do. I think their goalkeeper, wasting time, their team kind of just playing the tempo a little slower did affect our rhythm at times. We really couldn't kick it into high gear enough. I thought there were times in the first half where we got some momentum going. There were some, times in the second half we got some momentum going, but they weren't sustained long enough where we could get a goal. Or again, just that lack of quality. And was it their defending, or was it our lack of sharpness, to the other questions? I don't know.
Go upstairs for the questions on Zoom. Matt, go ahead.
Because we've got a few hands up on Zoom, so we'll start with Matt Pence.
Coach, you mentioned some of the happier memories from playoffs past. You've had guys that have really tended to come through and just find a way on nights like this. Was it almost a little bit of a surprise to kind of look up at the end and not have it go your way? What was kind of your emotional reaction at the end of the shootout there?
Well, it's never easy going into penalties, because you just never know which way it's going to go. So yes, Matt, there were times as the clock was ticking, my thoughts were going to, okay, how are we going to get through this? Is there any other last hopes? I mean, I was going to bring Chu on, but then JP said he was okay. Bringing AB on for the penalty kicks. I mean, there's a lot of emotions, Matt, that go through those final moments of a game like this. You just hope, you just wish, you're willing your team to just find that one spark, that one, moment of brilliance where they figure out a way how to score. But it was a little unexpected because we always, want to try and do whatever we can to win games. Again, that's no disrespect to RSL and Pablo. I just think that our expectations of, this club are high. And so, yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise to end the year. But again, it comes back to us giving the players tools to be successful. And we'll reflect on that and we'll try and figure that out for next season.
Evans.
Thanks, Brian. I wanted to ask, you talked a little bit about some of your decisions earlier. How difficult was that as far as trying to manage minutes because of injury or, actual tactics, or trying to get that goal? And yeah, how difficult was that to try and manage?
Well, it wasn't really that difficult, Jada, because, we have to listen to the medical staff. And, the last time the only real big decision was starting Raul or not. I mean, that was the big one. And, the last game he played, when he got injured, he had scored the goal in like the 52nd minute. And I was going, man, maybe we should take him out. But then Jordan was there, and Jordan had like a 30-minute limit. And so 52 to 60, okay, let's bring Jordan up on 60 and we'll sub Raul, and then Raul gets injured like in the 58th. So that was certainly a consideration to keep everybody healthy, Jada, for the next game. So really that was the only real hard decision, was with Raul. The rest of them, again, that was during the flow of the game. JP said he was fine. Jordan Morris made it 100 and some odd minutes. So those guys did well.
If I can follow up, so then are you saying that maybe that decision to not start Raul might be something that you second guess yourself on later, or
No.
there's no
No.
options?
No, there's no second guessing there. It's just we're limited with options. So if Raul starts the game and he comes out at 60 minutes, then there's still 60 minutes to play. And I would have preferred him to stay at the end of the game to take the penalty kick that he did, and that's the conversation that I had with Raul.
Alonso Contreras.
Thank you, Matt. How are you, Coach? It's a tough loss. Coach, the Sounders has earned the respect to be a candidate every year to win the MLS Cup. I would like to ask you if the locker room is taking this loss as a motivation for next season.
Yeah, I mean, you heard Christian. You guys know Steph well enough. I brought that up in my post-game comments to the team. What happened in 2018 propelled us into 2019. Again, I can't say it enough, Alonso. It's just the standard that we set at this club is a very high bar. And so losing in the first round of the playoffs is a failure. And we will do better. We will try and do better. I understand that it's pro sports, but we will try and do better for next season. Next season is a very important one. We have Champions League starting very soon. That's a competition that this club has made a statement that we would like to do well in. And then we would like to rebound from bowing out in the first round of the playoffs. We would like to do that. The League's Cup this year. I mean, that was a competition, Alonso, that we wanted to do well in, and we failed in that. We went to a final, but we couldn't finish that competition. So the bar we set is very high. Every game, every competition is important for us.
We'll do it on Zoom. So back to you, Alex.
Any remaining questions from the group in here? Maz?
Yeah, no excuses, obviously big club, but Brian, do you ever remember having a season where, like you said, cup finals, coaches going, injuries, it's just been a challenge?
Yeah, but life's never easy. I'm sure life isn't easy for you all the time. All of us in the room, COVID. I mean, there's a lot of people struggling in this country. I mean, we play sports. There's hurdles to overcome every day in training, every game. You know, you want to talk about some of the stuff that this team has overcome. We had a field player play in goal. We had 5 teenagers. We had many games where, you know, in Columbus, we beat Columbus in Columbus. We took a loss in the Leagues Cup and then beat Kansas City. I mean, this is a hard league. There's always going to be challenges. And, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to overcome every single challenge. But what I can guarantee you is that we will always try and we won't give up. And that group in there is strong. So for me, that's part of, part of the culture of the club.
And to your point, you've got 2.5 months before you get going with the challenge ahead.
Well, yeah. We'll start working tomorrow on it, Moss.
Nico?
Brian, just considering how quickly the next season is going to come and the challenges that it come with, how important, how key is it for this group to try to remain together and a tenure of players to be emphasized?
Well, again, this is pro sports, and I understand that there will be contractual situations with different players in the club. But I certainly will go on record to say that, yes, it's important that we try and keep a core group together. And that, we had success this year with a different formation. There are guys that will be, discussed at, Adrian, Garth, and Craig's level. And we'll try and make good decisions for the club. I have all the confidence in the world in the front office. Craig has come and done a good job. Garth's obviously very experienced. Adrian is the one that signs the checks. So I'm sure together we'll be able to come up with some solutions. And even if some players have to go for whatever reason, I think this club will always continue to strive to meet the standard that we set. I mean, we lost Ozzie Alonso. He was a big player. We've lost, other big players after 2016. We lost Clint Dempsey. I mean, there are players that have left this club, and the club has still gone on to be successful. So I have all the confidence in the world in the front office.